Welcome, marketing interns. We're back. Happy 2021, episode 298. The boys are hot. It's funny because I was listening back to a couple of our episodes. I'm like, rarely do we ever do an intro. Like the listeners hear an intro music, and then they just hear us hopping right into it so quickly. So I figured I'd do a little intro, just let the people know it's episode 298. I'm in my RV. Andy's up in the studio. We're grinding, having a blast doing it.
And this time around, we talked about this format of podcasting where it's just you and I. We did it, I think, 3 in a row from the end of November to early December, and we were we're kind of bashing our heads together, being like, this is good content, but we know we can do better. So challenging ourselves right off the bat to kick off 2021. We finished the year with a really cool question asking all of our audience members, what did you accomplish in 2020? What are you proud of that you started in 2020? And you and I talked about what we started and then what we're excited to continue on in 2021. But we want to hear from these marketing interns. We want our listeners to dive in with them. So we're doing these Zoom calls where we have the technology and the capability to sit with another guest from all over the country. And we got, I think, 8 people lined up to join in on this Zoom call and hop in for 5 to 10 minutes and talk about what they're excited about for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing too about it all was I put this out with the original intention to put a montage video together. And I think we got quite honestly, I think we got 40 to 50 responses. And I was I was struggling to figure out, and still am trying to figure out how to actually put it into a production without it just being a reel, a 12-minute reel of just a bunch of different people saying what they did. And when we
don't want this to become the Gal Gadot, whatever that thing's called. Yeah,
exactly. We do not want to be Gal Gadot in the slightest, dude. Not trying to do that whatsoever. So yeah, here we are, just kind of swinging it with Collins. And I think Collins is something that we did episode 4 or 5 and then never revisited. And like you said, I was funny you said you were listening to the Bad Friends podcast with Santino and Bobby Lee. And I literally thought of that same thing when they were getting Collins and stuff. I was like, Collins would be a really good way to just kind of keep it entertaining, let people justify themselves, let people do things. And then I said and then going back to the This Year I Started thing that we already did, we already had this bulk of people that were already interested. So it just kind of made sense, honestly.
Right. And the call-in aspect, it brings out a personality and you get 8 different varieties of people. We've banked on all of these, like you mentioned, 298 podcasts. This is the 298th podcast. So every week we're oh, who should we have on? And we're going through the Rolodex and it's we could have this, we could have this, we could have this. We could go so many different routes. Well, why not just bring as many people as you can and join them for 10 minutes?
Bring them all to the table. Exactly. And I'm just excited. Our first caller is actually a recurring guest, James Farrow, former rapper. I don't think he's a rapper anymore.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he's up to. I know he's I just see him when he goes and plays golf with Austin Harrington. That's my update on James Farrow, was whenever he's hanging out with Stins.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, I think I see him he's hot in the streets on LinkedIn now too. He's doing something in regards to sales, I think. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to him, but my concern, especially from my standpoint, is we're going to try and limit each of these call-ins to 5 to 10 minutes so we can get, obviously, a good plethora and good diversity of different people who have started something within the last year of turmoil. So I'm worried about asking too curious questions and then turning each one of these into hour-long podcasts.
Right, and that's when I come in, dude. I'm always the guy that traps the puck, hones it back in. And
hey, the regulator.
I'm the regulator. Hey, what are you talking about over here? Let's close it off.
Yeah, Andrew, do you want to remind the interns kind of the intention behind the reason why we're even doing this in terms of call-ins and highlighting what people started this past year?
Sure, yeah. So Deck, I think, you asked me this question at the on one of our final podcasts where we did when it was just you and I, of what are you excited about to start in 2021? Okay, so now we're here in 2021, but you can't really truly encapsulate what you're after this year without doing a little bit of reflecting and seeing what you accomplished in 2020. All of the turmoil, all the chaos that happened in 2020. There were so many things that were brought to life, and we have now the opportunity to hone in on those people and just ask, hey man, like tell us what you accomplished, because there's a lot of negative energy out there. And if we can talk to 8 people tonight and continue to talk to people throughout this year about what they did in 2020 and what they're using that as a platform to now do in 2021, that's only just going to create more energy of inspiration. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what you and I are after, is making sure every single person in our community feels worthwhile, feels loved, and can utilize each other to then grow and be a little bit better each day.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Just, we want to we want to provide things for people's back pocket. And through this exercise of like the incredible things that were born out of this chaos, I think it's just a cool way for us to utilize our platform and our audience to show like, hey, there are plenty of people who had a crazy awesome year and did something when the opportunity presented itself. We've heard it time and time again, all these people working from home, all this time where people have the ability to, have this free, all of a sudden everyone had a bunch of free time in quarantine. And we're trying to highlight the people who really tripled down on themselves, tried to do something that delivered a ton of happiness. There's all kinds of different things that I'm looking forward to highlighting, honestly. And I think I'm just stoked for these calls, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, we're still sitting in that same quarantine-esque environment where, my house right now, the majority of us still work from home. And, there's still all this chaos going around with this political uprise. And it's constant day in, day out, negative this, negative that. And, we're two knuckleheads. Like, granted, we can't, we're not here to like change the world. We're just here to show what's happening in our lives, and then and highlight the people that are around us, and hopefully continue to uplift it. We're knuckleheads at the end of the day, so don't give us all this hoopla, because that's not us. We're two ordinary average guys out here just trying to bring smiles to the individual across from us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not by any means, we're not like professionals. We are even ourselves. I mean, we had a fun year. I mean, we reached 10 million people. But at the end of the day, like, we're a small podcast and a small production company. Let's not get away from the fact that we're a production company. We're going to shout from the rooftops all this year.
Podcast production company. If you need something, come to us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking to produce anybody and everybody's podcast. If you have a podcast concept you want to run by us, if you have any questions about how to produce a podcast or anything like that, just hit us up. We're in arm's reach away. But one thing before we get into these calls that I loved about the 10 million people reached mark was the fact that, like, our average reach per podcast is it's not even more than 1,000 listens per episode. And our average likes on a single Instagram post, varies between 200 and 300 likes. Our audience is not massive, but it's the people within this audience, the dedicated followers, the listeners, the subscribers, the interns, the people who like genuinely love what Backpocket does. That small collection of, let's call it anywhere from 300 to 500 people, was able to help us scale and reach 10 million. So anything that we do this year, anything that we try new for the first time or whatever it is, like, I'm looking to acquire I would rather have one person join us forever and love us to death that had never seen us, maybe in this podcast right now. But I want to find the new dedicated listeners that are going to last us forever, because I'm realizing the importance of that small audience size and how it can actually scale to reach a shit ton of people.
Yeah, amen to that, dude. What did we had like a tweet or a LinkedIn post with it, and I think it finished off with loyalty equals royalty. And I mean, that's truly what this Backpocket community is. We have over 4 years, we've just built, one person at a time and laid that perfect brick that we keep talking about. And that is our community. We're not here to say we have 100,000 people in our circle that are counting on us every single day. But we have Jimmy Farrow, who is one person that is counting on us right now, and he's about to join us here on the Zoom call.
Let's go. We got him in the...
Look at these guys, man.
Look
at these guys. Wow. Hold on. Let me turn my volume up, man. I want to be able to hear you guys.
How's it going, bro? Long time no see. Got a glass of vino. Got the turtleneck going. Looking fresh, dude.
The quarter turtle.
Ooh.
Yes. Difference. Big difference, right?
Yes.
Big difference. No, it's so good to see you guys, man. I watch you guys, and I know I DM you guys here and there, but I am so impressed with the energy that you guys put out, and like you guys have inspired me so much to like change how I view a lot of different things, and that's really like was my 2020 big change. But I'll let you guys kick it off.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, thanks for joining us. I think the last time we had a great conversation was when you were on our show. Maybe it was almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get to contact each other really that much in 2020. And I'm excited to hear, man. Like, so what do you think you accomplished in 2020 that you want to share with our audience?
I'd say, can I swear?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, dude.
2020, I slowed the fuck down. Like, I really slowed the fuck down. Like, I felt like I was going a million miles an hour in a million different directions, but none of it was like what I wanted to do. It was just kind of like, I felt like I was being pulled in a bunch of different directions, and was always living based on like who I was previously or who people thought I was. And 2020, like probably the end of December going into January, I slowed down and was like, hold on, like, what do I want? Like, what do I think is cool? Like, who do I want to be? And I really like slowed down for a minute and like reevaluated. And so like for people that don't know, I make music, and that's something that's been a big part of my life. And that's how a lot of people know me. So when I was on your podcast, it's like music, we're talking about touring, right? We're talking about all these cool things. But I had realized like I was burnt out. Like I was super burnt out, but I stayed in it about a year longer than I probably should have, because that's who I thought people thought I was. So I stayed like in this world, in this middle ground of like being uninspired, but like I don't want to let people down. And it took like a moment of like slowing down, realizing no one gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's living their own life, they have their own problems. No one gives a shit. And when I slowed down and kind of had this like revelation of like, what do I want to do? And I realized I'm like, dude, like I think I'm done like being on the road. Like I love making music. I still make like music in the studio. I'm dropping music, that sort of thing. But I was like, I'm done being on the road. I'm done having this be like my main career. I think I'm good at a lot of other things. And so when I did that and I really like evaluated what I wanted to do, I realized like, dude, I think I could kick ass like working at a cool company. So I started applying to jobs, and I was so self-conscious about it, guys. Like I was so like, what are people going to think? They're going to think I'm a failure. Like I didn't make it, right? All these like things that no one gives a shit.
Right. You're putting these preconceived notions that because you didn't have a corporate job, you're coming from music and you're going into this industry where you technically don't have experience, that people are going to look at you negatively.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And not just the people, like not just the world I was going into, but the world I was leaving.
Mm.
Like my friends, like I would like think of like specific friends and be like, dude, they're going to think like that I'm a failure because I wanted to like do something new. But it's like, dude, no one cares. And it was the most freeing thing in the world. When I slowed down and realized that no one gives a shit, it just freed me up to do whatever I want and whatever I think is cool. So I started applying to jobs, and I kind of kept it like on the low. Didn't really want anyone to know. And my buddy Nick Boyce reached out and was like, dude, like, you should check out this cybersecurity company. I'm like, not a fucking chance. That sounds so dry, like sounds so whack. Like, dude, I'm this like big bad rapper, Mr. Cool guy all the time. I'm like, dude, what do I look like working at a cybersecurity company? I interviewed, second interview, third interview. I'm like, dude, this is actually kind of cool. Like, I actually think like I could have some success here. And I took the job and absolutely have been fucking crushing. And I'm like re-inspired. Like, I wake up, I'm like working out and I'm like getting to it. I'm like so stoked to go into the office and like work and challenge myself and stress all these different parts of my brain that I was neglecting by trying to be like Mr. Cool guy all the time. And that was like my big revelation in 2020, man. It's huge.
Congrats. That's freaking really cool stuff, man. And I think there's two things that I really recognized there. The first was you appreciated the pause. You appreciated the opportunity to slow your life down a little bit. I can relate to that in the sense that like I feel like me and along with a lot of other guys our age in their 20s is just it's always go, 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 go. Mm-hmm. The idea that you slowed down like that, just kudos to you, man. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. The next thing you realized was you just got honest with yourself. The easy path leads downhill. Jocko says that all the time.
Yes.
And I just think about that to myself all the time when I know I'm making the easy decision and I know the other decision's the right one, but I just don't want to do it. And you know, there's all these different excuses you make, and I just want to credit you for taking that initiative, being honest with yourself, recognizing that you weren't inspired, you weren't right where you want to be. And my third point, I actually have three now. My third point is like, look where you're at, and who's to say you can't hit the road again and be a rapper? Like, the creativity and the inspiration is the fuel source behind anything and everything that you do. So the fact that you're now feeling more inspired, the fact that you have more of a drive, physically, creatively, mentally, whatever those things are, you have a job that's paying you to be you. There's all these different things that are going to help you balance out your life a little bit, level your chakras. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but you get my drift. I'm just excited to see wherever the heck this takes you, brother.
Dude, 100%. And I've been making the best music I've ever made. Like, I've been making the best music I've ever made. And I don't feel like I have to like pander to an audience or that I'm on some like time crunch. Like, dude, I just kick back and make music, and it's so dope. And I'm so much more excited about it. And I'm not worried about paying the bills and like all these other factors. Like, dude, I just said, like, I'm more creative than I've ever been, more energetic. And it really is like understanding, like, you're the author of your own book, and sometimes you got to turn the page. Like, and that's such a hard thing to do, especially in your 20s, right? Like, slowing down and understanding that direction is more important than speed. Like, that is something that's so hard to do in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that revelation and realized, like, let me go in a direction that's downhill, that I can build momentum, right? That I'm fucking stoked about. And now that I have a better direction, my speed is picked up. It's like slow down to speed up, right? They talk about that in sports all the time. Like, slow down to speed up, right? Watch the game film, like, slow things down, and then you can play faster. And that's kind of exactly what's happened in my life, man.
Where do you think you're drawing the most creativity from now that you're not on the road all the time? You're able to sit down and focus in like internally. Where do you think you're able to draw the most creativity from?
You know, majority of my creativity comes from just like life experiences, like being around people. Like, I might hang out with you guys, and the energy that you have will just make me feel a certain type of way, and then I'll go make a bunch of music.
Sure.
But it's truly is like, being away from music as a career has given me like the freedom to just make what I think is cool. Like, I really had to internalize that, like, my life is the feature film and I am the star of the feature film. And like, realizing that like what I do every day is like, that's it. And I felt like I was constantly trying to be someone or like wanting to be around these people because these people are really cool and maybe they're popular and I want to be over there or I want to be over here, and realizing like, dude, like I'm the star. Like, and everyone is the star of their own film. Like, you can't only go work out when your other workout buddies go. Like, you have to be the star of your own film. You can't only take that trip when you have your buddies that want to go on that trip. Like, you got to go, bro. And if people want to rock with you, awesome. If they don't, I'm already going. Like, when I invite people places, it's like, hey, like, I'm going to dinner at FEMA's at 6 if you guys want to roll. But I'm going. Like, and I had to like take that and be like, dude, I am the star of my own film. And it's like helped me out so much with my friends and like made my relationship so much stronger because I feel way more independent. It's helped me out with girls quite a bit because I'm not like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? Right? Like, what are you guys on? Right? It's like, hey, I'm going out to, Cowboy Jack's at 9:00 if you guys want to go. But like, I'm going. And it's just like, people love that energy, man. People love to get in your boat and row. Like, they don't want a bunch of people jumping in their boat, right?
100%, dude. I love that. And we'll finish on this. The you mentioned there was that transition at the beginning of last year where you kind of made that switch. Is there a specific story or something, specific moment in time that you'd like to share that kind of elaborates on that?
It wasn't an epiphany. It was just like a feeling of like, I think I'm burnt out and I'm ready for something new. I wish it was more magical than that, but sometimes life is just life, man. And you just feel how you feel. And I just realized one day, like, I want to try something new. I don't know where I got the courage to do it because I'd been very cowardly leading up to that year. But I found it somewhere, man. And it was the best thing I ever did.
Amen to that, James Farrow. Thank you so much for joining us. We got our next caller here in the waiting room. I just want to say thanks again. We appreciate the time.
Of course. Keep rocking, boys. Love you guys, man. See ya.
Take care. Wow. Hell of a start.
Hell of a start. Now we got Julian coming in hot on the mics. Julian Cavin, hot on the mics.
Hello.
What's going on, Julian? Welcome to the Back Pocket, brother.
Wow, this is crazy. Wow, I'm glad to be here. Just got back from football training, ate a little bit, now I get to get on the Zoom.
Right on, brother. So you just came back from football training. Where do you play football?
I go to St. Thomas, so I play for
St. Thomas. That's right. So
yeah.
Holy shit, that's right. Wait, hold on. Now I'm remembering. Julian, you are friends with Lauren, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Sick, dude. Okay. Now, intern Lauren, this is your friend.
I met her on an elevator, actually.
That's right. Okay. Can you? Yeah. Sorry. This is actually a really cool story. When she texted us this, I was very impressed. So, can you kind of describe how you met Lauren, and then kind of cycle that in with like what you've been doing in 2020 with the fuel company?
Yeah, for sure. So, I think we're coming back from football practice, and I live in Flint Hall. So my friend Johnson, my roommate, and I were just walking back. Go on the elevator. She was there too, and she's like, oh, what floor? I was like, 6th floor, and she's like, oh, I'm on that floor, and I was like, oh, I am too. And I didn't know, and she happened to live with one of my friends that was in the room too with her. So I was like, oh, okay. And we just started talking. Ended up going back to my room. She followed me on Instagram. I know you guys were just talking about how she's super networker, relationship type person on her last little interview thing. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Because then she just DM'd me on Instagram, started talking, got her Snapchat and her phone number. And then we just started talking about, I'm a big, what does your ideal life look like to you? What is your career aspirations? Trying to get deep with people. I don't like little non-meaningful type of conversations. So then obviously she has all these aspirations. We're talking about that. And then I was talking about what I want to do with my life, little basic stuff like major, then what your career wanted to be. But so this past summer, I'd say even spring, basically around when COVID happened, it was right when one of the business competitions for St. Thomas was happening. But also I was in that and I was a semifinalist.
And to give context, you're a sophomore at this time?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore at St. Thomas right now. So then I run track and I play football too.
Gotcha.
Can you tilt your screen up a little bit just so we're dodging your light?
There we go.
Other way. More flat. There you go, dude. Now you're looking good.
And so in high school, senior year, I went to Maranatha Christian Academy. It's in like Brooklyn Park, Maple Grove area. I won the business competition at the University of Minnesota. Came back and I used that same business idea because it never really took off. I didn't do anything about it in high school. But I used the same thing in this round at the Fowler, whatever scholarship thing. Semifinalist, whatever. But then I guess one of the judges like really wanted me to start this. And my company I use, it's an app-based company. Think of it like an Uber. It's an app-based company that brings gas directly to people. So I've been in the works to make that happen for about a year before that, prior. But then I guess COVID happened. People like social distancing. You can't go out everywhere. People are kind of scared because of the virus. And so then I was like, okay, let's really make this work. So then I was just calling all my friends, family, trying to get money to start this business. I was making business plans with my entrepreneurship finance teacher. And I'm just really trying to get into like, how do I make this go into action? So then summertime comes. I know people are still weary about COVID, but I knew people, a lot of my friends from high school are on Lake Minnetonka. So what I did was I bought these 2 like 10-gallon jugs and like a wheelbarrow. And then I just go, because all the moms have like a little Facebook group chat on Lake Minnetonka where
They always do.
Right, they just talk. So then I was like, one of my friend's moms was like, you just tell them like if they need their boats filled, I'll just come to them, roll my little wheel down and fill up their boats right at their dock so I don't have to like go all the way to the gas station or anything else. So I did that all summer with the intent to get money to start to buy a truck and a little gallon tank, which is literally parked outside my house right now. But so then I got money for that, ended up raising probably about $105,000 just of money from friends, family, and bank loans. And then my dad, all my friends at school, that's a little bit about, yeah. But like all my friends at school, they either have their own business or they're entrepreneurship majors. So my friend Ben Marone, he has his own marketing company in Indiana. And well, he obviously goes to St. Thomas too, but he had a friend named Dylan who's an app developer. So I was like, well, I really want this app, but apps cost like $70,000 for like a really good app like Uber. So then he told me that his friend Dylan would do something cheap. Said he'd do it for like $15,000. So I was like, okay, that's reasonable. Like I have the money to do it, but I don't want to spend like my money. So I'm asking my dad because he's always been like a huge supporter of me and like his dream is business. And he was like, he got furloughed at the time because of COVID. And so we're just trying to like figure out like what we can do as a family to, I don't know, just get back on top. Yep. But he's just super supportive of me. So he was like, if you're serious about this, like I'll invest in you, but you have to be serious about it. And so I was like, yeah. So then he gave me the money to be able to hire this app developer. We finished the app in September. It's on the App Store if you want to download it. It's called Low Fuel.
You want to spell
That's the name of the company?
Yeah, Low Fuel.
Low Fuel. Okay.
Yeah. So he made our website online and our app. And then now we just bought our truck, got the logo on the truck, and we have 3 like 110-gallon tanks in the back of the truck. And then just like a pump, and all you do is just go on the app, request it, and we'll come to you. I think we haven't started the truck orders yet because we're just waiting for the welding to come, which should be done tomorrow, hopefully. But next week, I'm hoping to start my first orders. But yeah, especially.
Holy smokes. So you're on the cusp of everything right now. The wheels are turning, all the pieces are in place. Right. And say that one more. So the company's name is Low Fuel.
Yep, Low Fuel.
Low Fuel. Dude, yep. Congratulations. It's an incredible story dating back to spring of utilizing what you accomplished in high school, bringing it forward into college, and then utilizing all your resources around you from friends to family to, just the community in general, dude. I mean, that is a hell of a story. Congrats.
Yeah, no. And so another thing I used to do, like, I just really, because I grew up at like Providence Academy, if you've ever heard of that private school in Minnesota. It's like all these prestigious like private schools in Minnesota, and I would always see like all these kids in high school just gets going on all these vacations and they could travel the world all the time. And I'm just like, well, I'd always ask the parents, like, what do you guys do? Like, how do you guys have time and money to just go places? And they're like, well, I either own real estate or I own my own business. So like those are the two things that just like drew me to that sort of passion. And then a lot this last summer, I just drive my dad's like nice car. I put a suit on, drive my dad's car, and just go around Minnetonka and just like knock on doors, almost like the pursuit of happiness. For he sees that Ferrari and he's like, what do you do? Like, if you can take this parking spot, but I just want to know, like, what do you guys do? So I just go to houses, knock on doors. I'm like, you guys have a lovely house. Like, I'm a freshman at St. Thomas at the time. I'm an entrepreneurship major, and I just want to know, like, what do you guys do for a living? And they probably the nicest people I've ever met. But specifically two, Sue and this guy Jeff, were like, really, once Sue brought me into her house, it was just like her and her husband. They're from California, and they're just like talking to me about what they did and like how I can get ahead in life. But then also, I told her about the low fuel company in the works, and she was like, she had 7 like vintage, nice like Lamborghinis, Ferraris in her front yard. And she's like, I'll be the first customer when you guys come out. And I was like, oh wow, thank you so much. But she was like, and then I'll just tell you about all the neighbors over there. And so she told all her neighbors, and now like they were some of my first customers that I'm gonna be targeting when I start my trucks. But also my mentor Bryce and my mentor Charles have like a lot of fleet trucks. So they have friends that own a lot of fleets, which is the easiest way for us to make money at the start, because it's just bulk trucks where it's just like 60 trucks laying a lot. It's standard heating and conditioning and things of the company. So they have 60 trucks that need to be filled every day. We just come in the morning, come at night, 60 trucks. I think there's 3 in Minneapolis area, but then we have that contract, Enterprise Rental Company. I just kept going around to all the rental car companies, and then they're like, oh yeah, for sure, I got their cards. Yep. So right now we have 6 contracts with just fleets before our company even launched.
Yeah, and don't go after one. Don't go after a single car. You got to go after fleets, maybe. Squad up.
Yeah.
Oh, Julian, this is amazing. And first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations. The second thing is we're having you back on the podcast to record in our studio when I'm back in town. Because this is far more of this is worth more than a 10-minute conversation. But dude, this is awesome, man. I mean, that's so freaking like I love the idea. And obviously a lot of other people do, but I think what is your differentiator, which is going to take you further than 6 contracts and get you to be that true business owner, is you have a tenacity to connect and you have a drive to be a personable guy. And I think what's so cool is you're utilizing everything that's right in front of you. You know, there's plenty of kids who would make the excuse of not going out to knock on random people's doors and ask them what they did. But your curiosity and passion drove you to that, and look where it got you in terms of connections and different things like that. I love it, man. Every single part of it. That's so freaking cool.
We got our next person here in the waiting room. So, Julian, I just want to say thank you, dude. And like Decky said, we're welcoming you back on this show for an hour, 2.5 hour half conversation.
All right. Thank you. It means so much.
Hey, take care, brother. Keep hustling.
You too.
All right.
Dude, that was sick.
That was incredible. So we have 2 people waiting in the waiting room. Is this
who do you got right now? Who's in there?
Currently it's Madison, Page, and Isaac.
Madison. Okay. I think they're the co-owners of Teardrop Tap. So let them both in. Okay. Let them both in. I believe those are both Teardrop Tap.
Cross your fingers. Hopefully.
Oh, wait. No, that's Ike. Ike, you're not ready yet. Get out of here. Kick Ike out.
Ike, sorry, you got to step away.
I get this down. I like that chair.
What's up?
Hold on. We'll figure one thing out real quick.
No worries.
Is that the tap in the background? Can I see it real quick?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, my goodness. So, ladies, welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the Back Pocket. How are you?
We're good. How are you guys?
Phenomenal. So can we get some context for names here?
Yes, I'm Abby.
Abby?
Madison.
And you guys are the founders of Teardrop Tap. Is that correct?
Yes. Correct. Yep.
Awesome. I love this. You guys take it away. What is Teardrop Tap? What did you guys do this past year amidst all of the COVID turmoil? I want to hear what you guys did.
Yeah, so we had kind of a crazy launch year. Worst year to launch an events business, but also had a lot of learnings, which was great. So really kind of the whole thing started from Abby and I are, we really love to host events at our own house, and we used to be roommates. So we loved being together and kind of the life of the party. So we wanted to bring the party to everyone else. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So that's kind of where this idea came from, to have like a mobile tap service and to bring fun to everyone around. Yeah.
Love that. So is the Teardrop, like I live in an RV right now. I've seen those Teardrop type style like mobile homes before. So did you guys have to convert like a traditional Teardrop like single bedroom into a mobile tap?
No, we actually randomly found a guy in Facebook Marketplace that literally builds the frame of these trailers. So we bought one off of him, and then Madison's husband actually built the whole thing for us. So he built it from the frame and put the taps in and everything.
Yeah, so it's made with love. So handmade. So I think that actually helped us, because then we weren't restricted to like a certain, removing a bathroom and like kind of like the things that you said.
The kitchenette in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So we were able to make it what we wanted it to be. And he has a lot of knowledge of tap systems from previous work experiences, as well as our friends out in Connecticut own a brewery that he's a part of. So that's kind of where we got our tap knowledge from in there. And then we're the professional bartenders.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So can you guys kind of describe some different experiences you had this past year delivering the tap and the liquid goodness to the good people of Minnesota and wherever else?
Yeah, so we've had all of our events that we've done have been outside. So we actually had a COVID wedding. So they had to cancel their trip to Ireland, was their dream destination. And they had to go they did it in their backyard. So that was actually one of our first weddings that we ever did, was kind of a COVID bride. So she was super grateful and really fun about that. And then we've also done a 1-year-old's birthday party. So it was a lot. So we did a 1-year-old's birthday party, and we had, root beer for the kids, and then we had beer for the adults. And then we also had like a friend's birthday too that they had us come and host. So
yeah, our housewarming events too. Those have been fun. But yeah, it's great. Like a lot of our clients got really creative, and they had to pare down their weddings or events. So they got creative in planning different events at their own homes, and we were happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it seems like your style for the events is perfect. Like you guys are in the back pockets of the community, because when all the turmoil was happening, all the chaos, you can't travel here, you can't go here. You're able to bring your tap room to them and allow them to have the event that they actually they'd never dreamed of, but then they were capable of. So congrats to you.
Exactly, and we love bringing that fun element too, like because they had to compromise on so many other things, that we were able to like bring the fun element to the event and be unique. So, and we do fit indoors as well. As you can see, we're in my garage right now. So we do fit under a standard 7-foot garage door. So even when, COVID restrictions are lifted, we'll be able to fit into different venues for weddings and whatever kind of events you want.
That's amazing. Speaking of events and different things coming up here in 2021, how could someone like us book you guys?
Yeah, so all you have to do is email us at hello@teardroptap.com. You basically just tell us what kind of event you have, what the location is, what your thoughts are for the alcohol that you want, and then also how many people, because we can help you kind of, figure out how much alcohol you'll actually need. So we help you plan it, and then, once you book us, we kind of just take it from there and just show up at the day of your event for you.
Yeah, otherwise you can book us through our website too. There's a fun contact us form that kind of has all the different boxes to check off as far as what information we need to get you booked.
Love it.
Right on.
One more question I have for you. What is a dream event of your guys to host or be a part of this year?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question. We would love to be part of, like once everyone can finally get together. I think one thing that we missed this year was going to different like brewery events, kind of like a beer fest. We would love to be part of a beer fest where we're not only, handing out, just multiple different breweries and distilleries, different beer options. So we also want to be part of farmers events too. We can do cold brew coffee. So we're kind of a little bit of everything. So
I do want to do a tailgate somewhere.
Yeah.
Like
Or-
either like a Gopher tailgate or like a Vikings tailgate, because I think that would be, that's easy. Like
Yeah.
why not?
Someone
Like, that'd
did
be
want to
so
book
sweet.
us for a Gopher tailgate, and we were so sad we had another event planned that day, but we wanted to go so badly.
Yeah. So hit us up if you guys want to do that, because we will
Mm-hmm.
be there.
That's incredible. Well, I know the Gopher hockey team is number 1 in the country, so there's definitely some tailgate opportunities there.
Yes.
So I guess my final question will be, so everything you learned in 2020, just adapting and going with the flow of everything, what is your advice for small business owners going into 2021, and how can they adjust? And do you have a piece of advice for them?
Yeah, I would definitely say, we had our business plan. We knew what we wanted to do. So I think having a straightforward business plan like that, but also we hit a lot of road bumps that we didn't expect. So just being creative and thinking outside the box to kind of curve through those, and you just got to pivot when you hit a roadblock. And you just got to roll with the punches, I guess. I don't know.
And I would say we were really inspired by other creativity that other small businesses had this year. So, we really drew inspiration from what others could come up with too, even if they weren't in our, designated business area, but how they were coming up with new ways to serve clients of it, and et cetera. So definitely utilizing your network, and, asking friends and family for advice as well. So there's never a bad question. So
No. And
Absolutely.
you'd be surprised, and you'd also be really surprised on how many people know people that will help you out. Like our logo was done by a good friend of ours. We've done video shoots with like one of our guy friends that does videos. And there's a lot of connections that are out there that you probably just don't know of that other people do. So just being able to network through people you already know is something that's really key too.
100%. Yeah.
ways to
I
stay
totally
connected.
subscribe. Absolutely. No, I totally subscribe to what you're saying. We call the Twin Cities the sandbox. Utilize the sandbox. It's an incredible, tight-knit community. And like, we're obviously part of it. You guys are part of it. You guys know it. But at the end of the day, I think it's about being evolutionary. You're going to always have a new way to approach a problem. You're always going to have a different approach to solve different issues that you're going through. And you're also just going to be creative. Like, you guys put this together yourself in a year's time. Like, I'm stoked for you guys. Like, that's freaking so
Thank
cool.
you.
Yes, we'll have to
Manifest
do an event.
Yes, we'll definitely do an event, possibly get you guys on the podcast in person. We'd love to have you in our studio in
That
Minnesota.
would be so fun. Yeah.
Is the studio in the RV? That's the real question.
This is the RV. This is the studio in the RV. I got
I
it all
love
set
it.
up.
I also love the Colorado sign too. We're actually, my husband and I are driving out there on Friday. So
Let's go. Enjoy it. You guys skiing or what?
yeah, we're going to be there for 3 weeks snowboarding. So
Love it. Well, awesome. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. Can't wait to catch up very soon here.
Yes.
thank you. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, so I think now this is Ike here. He's calling from a phone number, so hopefully this will work.
What time is it? It's 8:20.
It's 8:20. Yes.
7:50. 8:20. Yeah, we can bump Ike to the 8:20 slot. We actually don't have anybody for this one. Perfect. This worked out great.
Let's see if this is Ike, baby. Because he said when we kicked him off that he wasn't able to come back in, because it was like his username was blocked from our system, and he thinks he bypassed it here. I sent him another Zoom invitation, so I was a little distracted on that last call.
No worries, dude. That teardrop thing is cool. Like, that needs to be like at Coachella.
Right. We need to, like, that'll be what's outside of Coachella. They'll have the teardrop Tap, and then they come onto the boat.
Well, I mean, think about what's so great is they're like so malleable to pretty much any scenario. Like, even if we want to have like an outdoor, like a backyard bash in the fall or something, like they could literally roll into the driveway and like be this fuel source, like they're like the cool version of a keg.
So this is Ike, baby.
I don't know if I can get my video, dude.
What happened? Did we axed you from the system or what?
Yeah, so I have to call in, which means I can't do video.
Huh.
So that's where we're at.
All right. Ike, how you doing, dude?
Dude, life is incredible, man. No complaints here.
Love it. So you obviously know what we're doing here. We're taking call-ins for the podcast on what you started or accomplished in 2020, the year of chaos. We obviously know from having you on earlier in the year.
Episode 286 or 268.
268, and we have some inklings that you maybe have taken your woodwork art full time. Is that correct?
That it literally got announced on Milwaukee News like 2 hours ago. So yeah, the word is out. You guys alluded to it a few months back, obviously, and the Minneapolis crew found out about it. But yeah, now it's in about 2-3 months here, I'll be doing wood art full time, which is crazy. Like, I'm not even a year, into it kind of, but whatever, we're doing it, man. We're gonna make it happen.
How crazy is that? Is it crazy to you that you're pursuing this? Like, do you feel like you're living a dream right now, or is it more like you're living it? Like you're not as shocked as I may think you are.
No, I am pretty shocked, to be honest. Like, even just like writing and like contextualizing it, I was writing an Instagram caption earlier about it, and I've pursued and completed like 2 of my dreams in life, and that was to become a musician full time and to own the business and the building that I do full time. And I did both those things in the past 10 years, and now going into this dream and going headfirst into this, it's the first time I'm doing something by myself. With my band, there was 4 other people, and with my businesses, there was always my brother and my mom. So doing this now, like truly by myself, I'm scared, but it's like the best scare in the world, and I'm just embracing the challenges. I'm just ready for them because it's a much needed growth for me in my life.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's incredible. So did you close the doors on the previous business, or did you pass it off to your brother?
Yeah, so I approached my mom and my brother and my business partners back in September and said, hey, I'm going to be, I just want to do wood art full time in the next 6 months. So we kind of came up with a 6 months exit strategy as far as me working day to day and generating revenue for the company. I'll still have responsibilities. I'll still have my equity. So I'm still owning, 4 or 5 businesses here in Milwaukee and being a part of the huge decisions that we're making and doing my part monthly with those. But as far as like a day to day, Monday through Friday, I won't be, participating in like going to the office every day and making things happen anymore. So it was a good 6 month plan. It's been a huge transition for both my family and my business, but they knew it was a needed adjustment within our lives as well.
Yep. And you may have already mentioned this, but was there a specific moment in time that this realization hit you, or like, I have the bandwidth and capacity to do exactly that, to pass off the reins and then take this venture on full time? What can you like draw back and point your finger to a time and place?
Sunday, August 23rd, 2020 in my house. I don't know what happened that weekend. But dude, something legit hit me. I felt it to my core. I got on the phone with Steve from Ivy Longboards right away and just called him and just kind of put my thoughts into, just spoke it into existence, really, what I was thinking. So that was the day, and I don't know, nothing really changed that weekend. I didn't have any crazy experiences. It just hit me like a freaking rock. So I'm embracing it. I'm in love with the process. I'm in love with the direction that things are going, and like like truly, I'm not just saying this to be like, you know, cliche or whatever, but like I haven't even started yet as far as my journey with what I want to do with woodworking. Like, you know, I'm a year into it and I've sold a good amount of pieces and I'm grateful for that. And I built some cool pieces, but the things I see myself doing and the potential of where I want to go, dude, we haven't even started yet.
Yeah, dude, knowing your work ethic and your artistic ability with these pieces, to build some context for the interns and the listeners here. So Ike, you do 100% recycled wood pieces that you kind of mesh and form into picture frame size pieces. If you look at for the people viewing, the thing right behind Andrew is actually one of Ike's custom pieces. It's the Backpocket logo. But dude, I just want to say from the time last year when I met you in Thailand, which is fucking crazy, to the time now, it's been just such a freaking pleasure being your friend, and at the same time, like your artwork and your like artistic ability and creativity with your pieces. Speaking of it right now, is just, it blows me away, and you're one of my favorite follows on Instagram because of the aesthetics you're putting out there.
Dude, that's everything. I mean, that seriously means the world. Like coming from you and both of you guys have really, I attribute a lot of actually that podcast episode to, I guess, where I'm at today. That just like kind of gave me a spark and gave me, you know, inspiration and hope that, you know, once that came out, people became more interested, but to like a different degree and a different level, like generally curious and generally just like interested in my brand, not just a follow and a couple likes in the photos, just intentional, I guess. So I think back to that day when we did the podcast in May, and that was like top 5 pivotal moments of the past year as far as this endeavor, exploring my creativity in this wood art adventure that I'm on. So I mean, it's well reciprocated back to you guys too, and like I resort a lot back to my Minneapolis friends. As far as my inspiration, my relationships, my friendships, dude, it's my everything. So, yeah, it's both ways for sure.
Right on, man. Well, we have our next guest waiting in the waiting room right now. Ike, do you have anything you want to leave us with? Heading now, we're 11 days in or 12 days into 2021. Anything you want to leave our marketing interns with here?
I'll leave it with everyone listening. Your marketing interns, freaking the whole audience, every other intern. Like, you are one step away or one decision away from completely altering your life, good and bad. Don't forget that. And you know, choose wisely. Make your decisions. Take leaps of faith. Take opportunities as you see them. But one decision, one message, one whatever can change the entire course of your life. So always remember that, and you know, take advantage of opportunities that are straight in front of your eyes.
Amen, dude. Thank you, Ike. I appreciate you, and I'm excited to continue to follow your journey, man. It's a hero's journey.
I appreciate you guys. The support is everything.
Love you,
Amen.
Ike.
Love you guys.
See ya. All right, our next guest here. I mean, this is just I want to reflect, but there's no time to reflect. We're
gonna have some time, Andrew, after this one. Is this Liz?
This
Liz
is
on?
Liz. Yes.
All right.
Hi, Liz. How are you? You are muted. Real quick.
Liz, you're muted.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have Liz. What's going on, Liz? Welcome to the Back Pocket.
Hi, nice to meet you both.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming. We've been hitting each other up in the DMs, I believe, about the date night podcast too at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely hit you guys up for that.
Okay, sweet. We will for sure get you on the date night podcast here real soon when we fire that back up, which I believe will be in the next couple weeks. Hopefully we're getting everything set up with the
bars
brewery.
and restaurants are slowly opening again. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I know I've been waiting for the bars and restaurants to open back up here.
Love it. So we've been taking calls all night here and about something that you did that you started in 2020. What is something that was born in this year of chaos for you, Liz?
Yes. So this year, or last year, I should say, finally moved out of my parents and got a new apartment. A long time coming for that. Took a very long time because I wanted to stay home, earn money, save the money. Then I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to move out, do it, and get out of the way and be independent and learn how to save money on my own.
Nice. What are you doing to make money?
Yes. So I'm a core power yoga instructor. Currently building my own business on a website called Lizzie's Personal Training. That actually came out this year, and it's still in the making. Got to get the payments on there, got to get how much money the sessions will cost. And yes, I'm running those two businesses, and hopefully soon in the next few weeks, my friend and I will be running a TV show on PBS. Yeah.
Very
Whoa. Can you touch on that a little more? I want to hear about this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my friend and I started about talking about spoiled spinach in the fridge. And then we both touched on what our favorite things were. So I love fitness and food, and she loves clothing and design. And so don't know if you've both seen the show Queer Eye. It's about Queer Eye for the straight guys, where they recreate their life journeys. And there's 5 of them, but there's only going to be 2 of us. And we're going to go to people's houses. And first we're going to nominate people, or they're going to nominate us for them to come over. We're going to create their food style, their fitness, their clothing style, their living style. And that's just going to be like a whole show about just your basic living and how you're going to live with your life with the new style we give you.
What was the process like getting a TV show? Because you're looking at 2 guys that would love a TV show.
Yeah. Well, I've had a dream of actually being on a TV show. And it was when I was in high school, actually, I watched this show called Extreme Weight Loss Home Edition with Chris and Heidi Powell. And I wanted to be on their show. I wanted to live in their house. I wanted Chris Powell to work me out and get in good shape. And 3 or 4 years later, I finally met both of them at the Mall of America. And they're both like, you know what, just create your TV show, create your personal training lifestyle, and get out there and do it. Because if you dream it, you'll believe it and you'll become it. And I was like, you know what, this has to become true. So then this year during the pandemic, I was thinking, why not just start a TV show, see where it goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, do another one. Like, you just got to keep working towards it.
Love it. What is something that was kind of driving you to even want to be on TV in the first place?
Oh, man. Well, it's another way to earn money, obviously, and become known. And my friend, actually, Jessica Yannick, she was on Twin Cities Live, Care 11, all these different TV shows, like the news broadcasting shows. And I just wanted to show myself more and be out there and have people know me. And not just I'm a core power yoga instructor, but I'm also a TV person. I'll be on the show. I want to be known for that, and maybe even become famous on the TV show. I don't know, something like that.
That's awesome. Was there a moment in 2020 that you can draw back on and tip your cap and when you reflect on this moment, you're like, wow, I really endured a lot during this few months. Maybe it was just a certain day. Is there something that you draw back on? Because there was a lot of chaos that happened in 2020. Is there a time or a place that you can share with us that you now look back on and be like, wow, I learned a lot and I've grown from that?
I've learned a lot in 2020. There are some ups and downs, of course. The down part was not being able to work, lost my job. But the upside of that was learning how to just take care of myself. Like learning how to save money, learning how to not spend the money on something that you do or like you don't need. And also just being independent, like doing something on your own, not having someone tell you what to do, just learning how to be cautious of what your life is, like growing to become independent, growing to learn, do I really want this or do I really need that, instead of I'm gonna go buy that and not need it in 4 days.
Right. No, I totally subscribe to that. As like this, I'm actually, the background right here is my RV. I'm living in an RV by myself in the middle of the desert in Arizona.
In Colorado or something?
No, I'm from Colorado. That's why I have that flag. It was like the one memento that I took from my house before I even went to college, and it's the only piece of like room decor. It's the only thing room decor that I honestly own. So I brought it with me. But yeah, I mean, I've learned that same aspect of just like being independent and you just like, it's funny because you just spend time like mulling over questions in your own head and like talking to yourself and like having these like internal dialogues. And at first I was like, this is really weird. Like, I'm a psycho. But then the more I did it, the more I got comfortable with it. And the more I feel like I feel like I'm living on my own and being enthused with myself and like excited by myself is a new energy source I've never had before. So kudos to you.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun to be on your own because obviously you're not with your parents. You're living, you're listening to yourself, and you can call up your parents for advice, but also you really need to learn how to do it by yourself. Like you are in an RV, and my brother used to live in Colorado, and he moved from place to place to place, and he's just learning how to do that by himself, like not asking for permission. He just goes.
Love that.
That's the other part of it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? So you started this personal training. You work at Core Power if people want to go in studio, but you also have a personal training, and then they'll find you also on PBS. But hit a couple of touch points for where people can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. Obviously, that's my main go-to. It's Liz Hickey 17. And then you could also find me on Facebook. Liz Hickey is my main source. Core Power Yoga in Highland Park. And then PBS, you can find me hopefully soon. We contacted both PBS and IPR today. I contacted TCL, Twin Cities Live. And those are my two main sources. If you want to come take my class at Highland Park, Core Power or Grand Avenue, Core Power there. I teach Monday mornings, 6 a.m. if any of y'all are early birds. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, mornings and nights.
Awesome. That's incredible, Liz. Way to take control and create momentum for yourself in 3 different avenues. I'm excited to follow along and continue your story, to hear your story, and then eventually have you on the Date Night podcast.
Would love to be a part of it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Liz. You're the best.
You're welcome. Thank you both. Look forward to hearing from you soon.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
All right, Andy. I gave us some breathing room.
Yeah, we finally got a deep breath here, brother.
Joey Schools is coming in 4 minutes.
Joey Schools, and then we finish with Ben.
We have Joey Schools. We then have Ben McKinney, which I hope he comes on. And then we finish with Steve, our
Steve
hemp
IG.
boy.
The hemp
Steve
boy.
IG. Love his Twitter game, by the way. I can't wait to touch on that. But it'll be fun. I guess we can extend and talk with him since he's like literally one of our most dedicated listeners. And we know this because he tweets at us every week based on the episode, which is bananas. But, dude, this is going swimmingly well. How did we put this together?
I don't know how it's going so well. We had one minor hiccup when I admitted 2 people in at the same time. But overall, like, this is so killer. I don't know if it's just the format of the questions or the people that are coming on. It's such a wide variety of people.
I know. I guess the probably the thing that I had going for me the most personally was I had no expectations. And I was just like, I think if I spaced them all out at 10 minutes, we could hold the schedule. And seems to be working. But yeah, to your point, I mean, the guests have been phenomenal. Like all the different stories and the different types of things that happen, like super cool perspectives.
Yeah, starting it off with James Farrow, a lot of great energy, and that was a good one to start and get the juices flowing because we knew him. Like this is also funny. We're also meeting people for the first time, and we only have 10 minutes to talk to them. Like Julian, like the Teardrop Tap, and Liz, who was just on. These are people we're meeting for the first time, and that cracks me up. They hop in a Zoom room. We shoot some questions at them. They share their story, and then we're like, "All right, see you later.
We'll see you around." No, yeah, it's really cool. It seems like it's an accelerated like version of our podcast. Like each one of these could be 2-hour long podcasts released one week at a time. I think we're hitting like 6 weeks of fucking content at this point.
Right. Man, this is the call-ins are. This is going to be something that we're going to resort to because all great talk shows, like we mentioned, this content that we're transitioning to is you and I, and it's hard to do a full-on podcast, 2.5 hour engaging conversation like we typically do in studio. But these call-ins, these short snippets, there's such an adrenaline rush. Like when I hit that blue button of admit, then they come in and I'm like, all right, connecting.
This is a fucking rush. Oh my god. No, yeah, it's been really cool, but I'm sure we'll touch on this after these last couple guests here, but like, yeah, just the idea of like being creative with the situation that we're given. Like we don't really have or feel like a Zoom call is like an intimate it would provide that intimate 1.5 hour long conversation that we typically would have. But it also opens the idea of like basically putting on our own internet TV show and throwing out different ideas such as call-ins and all these other things. So yeah, I'm excited to like look back at this, put this one out, just see how it looks. The whole 9 yards, honestly, man, it's gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be incredible. We got Joey Schools up next, waiting for him in the queue.
Dude, we got 1 minute. If this guy's timely like I know he is, it's gonna be exciting. He also sent us like a video for the this year I started thing too, which we will do something with all that content. I'm confident in it. I just need to continue to mull over it and run through the creative process in my head.
Respect it. Yeah, man. There's plenty of time. There's no rush to get anything out there.
It's never a rush, I don't think.
What do you think of the shaved head? Jonah just cut me up yesterday.
Dude, you're looking clean. Skull. I mean, I'll say it again, dude. Your freaking skull is just it's a good shaped skull. You're gonna be a fun bald guy, man. You really are.
Appreciate that. And then on that note, here comes Joey Schools.
All right, let's see here. Here we go.
Hey,
hey, how's it going?
What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
How's it going, bro?
Good. Just, working, just chilling, just a normal week. Nothing too big happening. So.
Oh, dude, it's just rise and grind mentality. It never stops.
Exactly, man. It's just the basic stuff. Yeah.
Sick. Well, you know why you're here. We've been taking calls all night about what you started this past year in 2020. What was kind of born from the chaos for you, Joey Schools?
So I guess what I started, it's not tangible really. It's more of like an untangible personal thing. Like a lot of things happened last year on top of the pandemic for me, at least in my personal life, and a lot of skills were gained from that. Someone that I spent a lot of my life with was not in it when 2020 started, and just that thrown in with all of the shock from everything happening and kind of wearing down on my mindset. So it turned out to be just kind of me in that moment. It was just someone that I could rely on. I really had to more so rely on myself and start to really find out who I am. So I started really on that journey, identifying my strengths, my weaknesses, what I needed to work on in my own life. Some things I really realized were the ability to be resilient in many situations and be persistent in things. And really, this year I started to think a lot more about vibes and energies too, which there's some science behind it, but some of it's meta type of stuff. But I really think that does come into play me personally, I'm trying to change this a little bit, but me personally, I have like a very sometimes it's very like nihilistic or pessimistic or realistic, what have you view of things. But I'm really trying to there's a lot of positive things you can focus on in those situations. But I've tried to reorient my line of thinking to more positive energies and positive vibes. Also identifying toxicity in your life, whether that be with actions you're doing or if there's certain people in your life that are toxic, you can't be afraid to not associate with them anymore. Because you got to focus on yourself, but not really in a selfish way. I feel like you got to listen. I'm talking in this perspective, this is me and how I adjust my things and my thought process. You really got to not in a selfish way. You got to focus on yourself. You got to take advice from other people. So I listen to my friends a lot. I have a great group of friends, so I'm really blessed with that. They gave me a lot of advice when I needed it to give me the skills to get through this. And yeah, so back to the toxicity, eliminating toxicity out of your life, removing toxic behaviors you may have yourself, and then really focusing on bringing good energies and things like that into your life. And
I want to actually hold on. I want to touch on something real quick. So first question, what was something that happened in your life that you would typically look at nihilistically or negatively, but you spun it positively?
I would say honestly, I'm kind of when I see things going on, I really wish I could be a part of fixing it. Mostly everything's out of my control and all our control with the things going on, the decisions being made in the country, last year, this year in regards to health and whatnot, just the bigger world picture, see all these negative things that could be changed, but that's reality. But a positive spin on that is there are steps that you can take, more micro, not as macro, but micro steps in your life you can take. Maybe give some money to an organization that contributes to a cause. First, you got to do your research into the organization, make sure they're actually good. They don't funnel the money off elsewhere. But invest money or time into an organization that really does help address those bigger world issues, and they're real. Maybe and clear that won't solve the issue. That's not putting, you don't have billions of dollars you can throw at it, but you yourself are doing that to help, and that's more of a growth, a personal growth thing that could be done. So I guess that spins that negative nihilistic view into you can make it positive by taking some self-accountable actions and to addressing it.
Yeah, man, it sounds like you really went through a SWOT analysis. You got your strengths, resilience and persistence. Your weakness is you're a nihilist, dude. You're just a pessimist. But with the opportunities at hand, you can bring good energy and good vibes. But there's always some threats out there, like that toxic environment. I mean, you really unpacked your life with some SWOT analysis. So kudos to you, my guy.
Exactly. No, that's a great way to put it. The SWOT analysis can be applied in business, personal life, many different aspects. Oh yeah, I think you pointed out there's a thing called optimistic nihilism. I don't know how much of a nihilist I am, but I just I see things that happen and I'm like, man, this is reality. It kind of sucks. But there's optimistic nihilism where you can realize that. Now, don't go labeling me like I'm a nihilist, but I just I have nihilistic tendencies. I could see where this could turn into. I'm not a full-blown nihilist, but I have had nihilistic viewpoints. But there's something called optimistic nihilism where you can approach it from a positive aspect, more or less. There's a lot of cool things you can do during your life. You can if you hang out with people, enjoy your time with them. You can learn a lot of things. I just bring optimism in anything. I'm not 100% nihilist. I just have realistic viewpoints on things sometimes.
All right. Joey Schools confirmed not a nihilist on the back pocket. I love it. How about can you sort of do some mansplaining on how vibes and frequencies align with one another in our natural world?
Yes. Okay. So I feel like I got to watch The Cosmos. That's a good show.
Yeah, step one. Well, first, step one's burn a bowl. Step two is watch Cosmos.
Facts. I forget if I ever did the step one of it, but I don't know. Regardless. Anyway. So I mean, with energies and vibes, right? And how that's
energies
created,
and
like,
frequencies. Yes, sir.
energies and frequencies. Yes. So the universe, like scientifically, the universe has like wavelengths and energy and electric fields. So that's kind of some of the science behind it. But if you radiate positive energy into the universe, I feel like it really does help, like, collectively make everyone better. In 2020, everyone is pretty much away from each other, lockdown, what have you, just due to policies. No one really knows what to do. People just did the best steps they thought. Who knows? We'll see how it all turns out. Regardless, so like, there's energies in the universe, and like electric energies, etc. So one thing that I recall from you guys is that you mentioned hugging. So you should hug on the right side, and I for some reason this stuck with me, but you should always hug on the right side of your body because that's where your heart is, and you touch heart to heart. So I started doing that, and I just do it now. But so I came across a thing talking about the electromagnetic pulse of an organ in your body, so your heart. So apparently your heart radiates an electromagnetic pulse into the environment that can be felt 3 feet away from each other. So this year, there's a lot of separation amongst people through policies and just people just staying inside. So I feel like we lost a lot of that and that human interaction. And just learning that and knowing that about the energy that the heart puts off, I feel like a lot of that was lost this last year. But I feel like that just validates furthermore that it's so important to like radiate positivity and just listen to others and understand them. And yeah, just like do the research, look into it more. I mean, I'm not a full-fledged into it, but I do understand, like, scientifically there's energies and electromagnetic energies in the universe. It's just really cool to hear the thing about the heart. And as things go forward, I really hope that people in each other's lives can really get back to being closer together and projecting that positive energy onto each other. So I guess that's a little spiel into energies and vibes there. So
Of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's bring hugging back and let's teach them how to do it the right way. I think, we've been living a lot of our lives up to this point hugging the wrong way. It was Andrew's dad that educated us on this very podcast, which thanks for tuning in. That's phenomenal. One hell of a callback. That was back to our St. Thomas days over 2 years
That had to
ago.
be like episode 40.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
That is
Episode
stuck
298.
with me.
Yeah, dude,
just-
that is just
stuck with me.
fucking badass. So that's great. But yeah, dude, let's go hug everybody in 2021. Let's hug them the right way. I think you're bringing up some content plays for all of us involved here. A little how-to video, how to give a hug. I think we fire that up when everyone's vaccinated.
Hell yeah. I definitely agree, and give some hugs at the next Boatchella too. That'd be pretty
Yes,
fun.
absolutely, dude. We're going to be hugging all over Boatchella, and there's no question about it.
What's the date again? I think we have a tentative date of July
31st?
July
Or is it
31st.
24th?
It's one of those 2 days, but
There's a
tentatively
tentative
Boatchella free.
date. Yes.
Yeah.
We already booked it.
There we go. Hell
Hey,
yeah.
while we have you on the topic of Boatchella, anything you'd like to see for Boatchella this year?
It was awesome. Anything I'd like to see? I don't know, maybe like a fire breather or something crazy like that.
Ooh.
I'm kidding. I can't think of anything on the spot, but that's pretty outlandish. I really liked it a lot. I liked the venue. I mean, that was great. You had things after there. The whole boat was fun. I mean, if you kept it the same and people came again, it'd be just as fun. I can't really think
Bring
of
a fire breather. Absolutely. We don't have to change the world in 2021, but we definitely got to bring some fire. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, Joey. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some positive energy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good one. Sure, I'll see you guys again sometime. So,
Amen,
Absolutely,
brother.
See you later.
Take
Cheers. Godspeed
care.
to you.
All right,
right.
dude.
That kid's definitely not a nihilist. We can confirm that.
Yeah, not a nihilist whatsoever, but he just taglined himself real quick, so I had to bring a call back to SWOT analysis, dude. I was geeking when he goes, I learned a lot of strengths and some weaknesses.
So good, dude. That was amazing. The guy came firing out of the gates. Like, he was the horse that, like right at the Kentucky Derby, like, took a fucking big lead.
Yeah, whoever won this year, he was that horse, because that horse did exactly that.
Absolutely. You bet on that horse, right?
I did, and I'm already forgetting his name.
And we bet on Joey Schools, dude. I bet on Joey Schools every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
The heart callback was second to none.
Second to none. I mean, that's something that I even forgot, and that's my dad, for God's sake.
That is just phenomenal. All right, so I think our next guest is supposed to come on in 2 minutes. It's Ben. So let's make sure that he did that.
Here, you want to entertain the listeners for a sec while I go take a pee?
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Because we still have 20 minutes left. I don't know if I'm able to hold it.
We do have a lot of time left. Well, here I am again, alone on the podcast, unsupervised. I can say whatever the hell I want. But this is really cool. This is one of those episodes that we'll look back to, and it all it did is we took a risk. We tried something for the first time, and now we have this new perspective. And the best part about being rewarded a new perspective is there is a lot of creative energy that comes with that. And there's a lot of cool things that we could do with call-ins or just this internet show. Like, from the back end side of things, I'm figuring out how we can live stream this right away and integrate our Zoom conversation. So I'm excited. Andrew, I was just saying how you and I just like decided randomly to do this call-in thing, and now we have this new perspective, and with the new perspective comes a lot of creative energy.
Yes, a lot of creative energy. It's similar to what, again, calling back to our very first call-in today, James Farrow, mentioning how he closed the door on a music career, traveling around the country with his music career, and opening the door of more of a corporate job. And that alone, something that you wouldn't think would allow him to become a better musician, absolutely kickstarted some new energy, new creative juices that he didn't think he had prior. So this is exactly that. And I was literally listening to Bad Friends with Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, and they had a call-in guest to some guy that had giantism. Yes. And I was geeking, and I was just thinking to myself, though, the audio quality is so on point. They're doing this on Zoom. I'm watching it on YouTube, and it literally everything just like matched up. I was like, this is exactly what we do. We have all of this capability, and now that you and I are remote, it only makes sense to utilize all of these people in our community and fire them through one after another with a little call-in series.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the sky is the limit all of a sudden is what it feels like, to be honest. How many people have we rolled through tonight? This has been impressive. We've had.
Let's see if we can think of them back. Yeah.
We had James Farrow. We had the Teardrop Tap. We had Julian.
No, hold on. Let's go in order. Yeah, James, Julian, Teardrop, Ike,
Liz, and then Joey Schools. So six. And then we have Ben, hopefully here if he shows up, and Steve. We have two more.
Perfect. And to think I think there's two other people too, Aaron Cornelius and Ty Webb, but they both had girlfriend things.
Yeah.
That they didn't know of until after they said yes.
Okay, that's classic. That's classic girlfriend maneuvers, dude.
And of course, I'm going to throw them under the bus live here on the podcast because because those guys kind of look the same. At the end of the day,
it wouldn't. I mean, for diversity purposes, having two blonde kids who look the exact same, I don't know. You tell me.
Tell me, huh?
He actually, what's funny is you can just you can buy a 1-800 number. Aaron was telling me about this in the DMs.
Yeah, But what benefit of that? Why do we need a 1-800 number?
We don't at all, but that like Zoom is way better than having like the whole call-in setup. Like this is actually far better than a 1-800 number. I think it'd just be funny to have a 1-800 number.
Yeah, true. You know what we should do is maybe have like Marcus in here, and he can be the one admitting, or actually I like controlling the transitions, but maybe Marcus is in here to do something because I feel like his role. There's always a role for Marcus. Like maybe he could pull something up, maybe a good video.
Right. Yeah. Always a good opportunity to screen share. You know, there's always different. Just like if we had, like you said, if we had just like a host in the background who was able to admit the people and then like be a little interactive. I don't know. I mean, that, like I said, the sky's the limit. I feel like he would be really helpful if we were to go live on this thing and they could have like transitions and like different things like that.
There's a time and place for Marcus. So if you're listening, Marcus, be ready.
Be ready, Marcus.
But right now, it's actually super easy for me because the person's talking, and usually it hits that 10-minute mark where we know that next person's coming in, and it's literally just a blue button that comes up and it says admit the person to come in. So it's not like they can come in and disrupt the whole thing. Like Zoom's got this all figured out. That's no wonder their stock is crushing.
Right. Yeah, no, Zoom already had all of our issues figured out before we even knew that they were going to be issues, to be honest.
So kudos to Zoom. Buy Zoom stock is what I'm saying.
Yeah, buy Zoom stock. Shout out to Zoom, not a sponsor, but obviously fueling basically all of what we're doing right now.
They're up to great things.
They're up to great things. All right. It's been a no-show. Are we gonna go this whole time having possibly one no-show?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's our first no-show. We've already used your name a few times because we wanted to introduce you with some context. Sorry to make you look maybe foolish. Maybe you had something come up, and we could throw in the show notes that Ben also had a girlfriend arrangement, and I'm just making this up. Like maybe he did have a girlfriend issue thing come up. Maybe he. You know, honestly, probably sick brag on his end. He probably had a hot date that he forgot about. Exactly.
And honestly, if he had a hot date, like I'm not offended whatsoever. In fact, like I would prefer that he would choose the date over us. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a few things that I would let him off the hook if things that came up. So one being, hot date, like mad props. We bow down. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Another one, if he got the first ticket and then he was on that first shuttle to Mars, all of a sudden he hit his inbox, maybe an email, maybe an e-ticket, and he was at such short notice that he couldn't let us know he was on that first shuttle to Mars. I let it slide.
Right.
I wouldn't be irritated. I'd be proud of him.
Yeah, I would actually encourage it just so I feel like there's a huge networking play there if we're able to. Also, if we know a guy that is on his way to Mars, I feel like that's good for the brand, especially with where we're trying to go. So that's great. I would also say, dude, if he's mining Bitcoin or he's trying to remember his password to his mobile wallet that has a lot of Bitcoin in it, and he's working through that, maybe he's on the phones with the Bitcoin Corp, trying to figure out his password and working through some contextual items there. By all means, you got to get it done.
You got to get it done. If the boys are in the gulag and they're trying to get their dub, I understand. My hands are up.
Hey, if he's streaming right now, I understand. It's if he's if he's actually streaming, it makes sense. I understand. You got to get it dubbed, dude. It's again, we're not a priority here. Never have been, to be honest.
Never have been. Maybe the microwave was counting down to almost 1 second, and he couldn't let that thing beep with all the roommates around, so he had to rush to the microwave and open it, and then he forgot that the call was supposed to be at 9.
Honestly, now that I'm reading back on his DM to us here, so he replied earlier today, and then he said, "I launched my business, manufacturing in China, haha, super tough." he may be in China, and he may have gotten the times. I did say Central Time, but that CT also could mean China time. He could be in China.
He could be in China. He could be in Beijing.
He could be in Beijing. All right, but you know what? So this.
So wait,
it's a phone?
what did he do? He started a business.
Oh,
And-
dude, you know who this is? This is the guy. Did we ever get? So the company that he currently owns. I don't know if this is the one manufacturing in China. It might be, but it's premium and stylish phone grips. It's called Ever Designs. Remember he DM'd us a long time ago and was like,
Yes,
"Can I send you a couple?"
We did get those.
Okay, all right. This is the guy. This is him. The more you know.
So hey, say that again. So we promote him because we kind of put him on blast, but we also hyped him up. So let's just like full circle moment, hype him up one last time.
Actually, yeah, if you're listening to this right now and you have an Instagram account, I would actually want you to go follow his company, everdesignsusa.com. That's DESIGNS USA. Man, I really hope he's not manufacturing in China if he got USA on the name. But anyways, go follow him and then DM him and say, "Loved your feature on the Backpocket." That would be really cool.
Perfect.
It would be phenomenal.
So
All right.
I think that closes the books on Ben. We
I
thank
think
him
that closes
for,
the books on Ben and opens the opportunity. Oh, shoot. I didn't even send Steve the Zoom link. Let me do that.
So our next guest is Steve IG, the hemp guy. And there's no better way to tag him than that because this man has entered our DMs and flooded the Twitter world time and time again, week after week, podcast after podcast. As he's listening to the podcast, he's usually walking and he'll record himself talking about why he's laughing at us or what he's learned. And this man is a reoccurring listener. This is a true marketing intern of the Backpocket.
Top tier.
Top tier.
I just sent him the Zoom link, so hopefully he joins. But yeah, this is might be our most anticipated guest yet.
Do you know what Steve does for a living?
I know he runs a company, a hemp-based clothing company called Enviro Goods. He also, let's see what else he's got here. I'm looking at all his stuff. He's got another cannabis company. It's a media brand dedicated to cannabis called Canna.mn. And then he looks like he's got something to do with the Nashville Coop, the chicken joint. So he's got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm just excited to hear what he's done to launch this year.
Sweet, man. Well, let's hopefully he hops on here and we can close off with Steve IG for the night because this has been going so seamless and it would be so sad to have.
No, he literally, yeah, he messaged
He's got
us.
plenty of time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, dude. Okay, he just saw it. He's going to be joining here momentarily. I'm actively DMing this guy. I've been hot in the DMs through this whole podcast. I'm actually kind of shocked that I've been able to stay with it.
Yeah, you've been posting it too? I saw.
Oh no, I haven't posted anything. I think
I
Jimmy Farrow tagged us in some stuff or something like that.
I thought you've been taking pictures. I keep seeing.
I've been taking pictures of every single guest. Yeah, that's correct.
Gotcha. Oh, this is fun, man. This is the energy I need because usually when it's you and I, and we got our bullet points, like we mentioned, we know what we want to talk about, but it's a constant banter of are we just repeating ourselves? Is it getting old? But
yeah, we finally got. I think it's crazy that we're almost at 300 podcasts and we got sick of hearing ourselves talk. Almost.
We did.
I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know if that's it. I mean, I think it's just, we kind of just ran out of things to talk about. It's not like there aren't things going on that we could talk about. It's just my creative drive is not to just sit here and talk about, I don't want to talk about the Steelers losing, I don't want to talk about just random stuff. We got an update actually from Ben. So sorry, busy till 9:30. We're going to have Ben as a feature on this show. Looks like we got ourselves a chance. Shoot, 9:30 is kind of late.
Yeah, we'll definitely have this reoccurring call-in segment. Okay. Ben will come back on. Tell him, hey, sorry to miss you this time, but in due time, we're ready to have you. We hyped you up plentiful, and you're now a highly anticipated future guest. So sweet. Ben will be on the show maybe in the coming weeks. But what's cool about these call-ins is we've tried this in the past. I can't remember what exactly we were doing. It was something St. Thomas based, but it wasn't. The call-in thing didn't really work because we would hold the phone next to the microphone, and it stunk. But now I can see that Steve is here with his little blue admit button, and he's coming in.
Blue dot's here. The blue dot has entered the chat.
Guys, what's happening?
Steve, how's it going?
Decky, Andrew, you here too?
Yes, sir. Right here, brother.
Oh, right on, right on. Let me get this fired up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Should I go vert or should I go horizontal? What's better?
We prefer horizontal, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I'm here for you guys. You guys are here for me, so we're going to make this work, whatever's best.
Cheers to that.
Where's my video? Here we go. What's up, guys?
Oh, there he is.
You're looking elite today, brother.
Ah, man, fresh off a restaurant shift, but you know, I'm here. I'm a Golden Gopher, so I'm elite.
Love it, man. Well, you are actually our finale call-in today, so not gonna say you have a whole hour to talk to us all of a sudden, but we would love to dice it up. Andrew and I both know you are probably one of our most active interns, one of our listeners. You tweet at us like almost every day, every episode that we drop. I mean, you're hot in the DMs all the time. Like, I just want to say thank you. Like, it's really cool having you as like a consistent supporter and a good source of feedback every week, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, that's awesome. I'm definitely a bird. You can find me on Twitter. And I think I found out about you guys when I got back from LA. So I got back from LA. I helped launch a startup and a Tommy startup. And so I'm a big Tommy guy. And when I got back, that's when the Brandon was starting to do those meetups, and Finn Delanty put me onto them. And then I met you, Declan, at one of those events. And so that around that time I was like, oh, St. Thomas should have a podcast. Just being on the pulse of things, I was like, oh, St. Thomas should have a pod. Like, there should be something that all these people are doing cool stuff. Like, and then Finn was like, oh, that kind of already exists. And it was you guys in an early form, I would say. So yeah, so I've been like 19. I was kind of like hip to you guys. I probably checked out some of the episodes, but last year, and I've told you guys this in some form, like last year, I really think you guys started to like professionalize it. And here we are, 2021, and I'm honored to be on screen with you guys. So thanks.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the love always. So you know the drill at this point. We've done now 6 of these call-ins throughout the night. You're the 7th one. We've been asking every single person, what is something that that you found that you brought out of all this chaos, that was born from this chaos in 2020, that you were able to bring to life and generate through the chaos?
Yeah, like I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an ideas guy, and so I had plans going into 2020, right, that I thought I would execute on, and I would say, you know, I just didn't stop. I didn't let 2020 stop me from what I wanted to do. Although I would say like it threw curveballs. You know, 2020 was like the curveball machine, you know, like the baseball machine that throws curveballs. And it's like,
you're in the batting cages.
Yeah. Yeah. But luckily, you know, and I followed you guys like through COVID too. So I think you guys have grown up, and like, I loved the COVID jokes. I didn't catch the Corona episode, but like I definitely was listening like after that, and like, I'm always listening, like when I'm on my bike ride, and I like to. I'm a green energy kind of guy, so like occasionally I'll just hit it and ride, and then it's fun to listen to you guys, and like it's fun to hear you guys just get better. But for me, like I tried to launch. My first order of hemp clothing came to my door in March of 2020, and so April we had this big event planned. I was like gonna start selling merch at events and hemp clothing and just drive through events. And so like, I definitely took the curveballs, like I followed them off, but like 2021, I'm just going to keep going. And what I'm doing this year is I'm dropping my margin, and I'm just going to try to test to see if people will buy hemp clothing at the price that I'm getting it for, because I feel like it's so new that I can go further with reputation than I can with like margin, because I have like a day job. And so it's just been like I see life as like Tetris. Like it's just been trying to figure out like which shape will fit into which hole, and then like the foundation, clears.
That is a phenomenal, like not an alliteration, example of like life. We talk about earlier on this podcast, we were talking about lay the perfect brick. Sometimes you're dealt a Tetris block that's not going to fit in the right spot, but what the best part about it is you're going to rotate that bitch as many times as you can to get it to fit the best way possible. And I think that goes back to your analogy of fouling off those curveballs and rolling with the punches and being evolutionary in your approach while still understanding the importance of building a strong foundation.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys jump in again, but I got to give compliments. Like as an entrepreneur and as a Tommy, the smartest thing you guys did was, sure, you had your dream, but like you kept the foundation, and you both enabled yourself cash flow from the moment you graduated, so that yes, you can have your dream, and yes, it's going to exhaust you, but at least you've got that baseline income. And that's probably allowed you guys a lot of confidence in going forward with your dreams. And I got to give you guys props for that.
Yeah, and I'm going to send it right back, because that's the impetus of how we've been able to truly appreciate what Backpocket is. We don't have to rely on it to pay the bills, to fill the pocketbook, and allow and feed ourselves. Although we want that, but while it's growing, we're not forcing it to be something that it's not. And I think you've recognized this with something similar, selling hemp clothing, something that's not necessarily known. Not many people are active in buying hemp clothing quite yet.
Right.
So you've realized, well, let's reward my brand on reputation, drop some margins, and hopefully that this 2021 plan will help kickstart at this avenue.
Yeah, the clothing company's called Enviro Goods. It was going to be called Hemp Goods Distribution, and then Facebook doesn't like that, and like Square Processing, they don't like that. Like distributing hemp is still not acceptable by like the big five. And so I just twisted the shape in July, the Tetris, shape, and was like, okay, well, my supplier is called this. I'm fitting in underneath them. I'm going to name it that. That was a lot of 2020. And like, thanks to I live with my girlfriend. I mean, thanks to her for like putting up with me, working on a food truck this summer. I work for Nashville Coop. I was hoping to see you guys there at some point this summer, but like, hottest food truck of the year, like potentially best restaurant story of the year. And my good friend Kamal is a former Tommy. He's kind of the brains behind it. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen you post about the Coop all the time. I've seen Io post about the Coop all the time. I've also seen, like you said, they've been like hitting national wavelengths. I would love to know more about Nashville Coop, man. But that's cool. So that's kind of like your day job type thing.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, and this is good content too. So I worked for a sales company in like, a manufacturing of steel company, like something way off from what I'm actually interested in. And then I quit and moved out to LA in this like 2018. So I lived in LA in 2018, and we were working on a juice startup company called JuiceBot. And then you've probably heard of it. And then it didn't really pan out that well. I mean, $1 million into it. I mean, like collectively, and then came back after a year, just decided to go into hemp. But before I could fully launch, I went back to that company. And then so March, we all start going home, WFH. So for 2 months, I just picked up a paycheck and like did not do anything for that company. Like it got to the point where by the end of May, and the timing is important here, I was at my friend who's a successful real estate agent. I was at his house for like a dinner with our girlfriends, and they were like, how's your last 2 months been? Like, how's your quarantine been? And I just like leveled with him, and I was like, I've been a piece of shit for my company. Like I have not done anything, dude. I have nothing to talk to you about. Like, I'm sorry, I'm struggling. All I really care about is hemp clothing. And so the next day I quit, and it was the week of the George Floyd. It was the end of May. So Labor Day was, we all had Monday off. By Tuesday, we realized like what happened. Because unless you were down there on Unicorn Riot, you could see it on Twitter that night. But like Tuesday, I wake up. So Thursday, I go out to dinner with that guy, and Friday I quit. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm not going to keep taking this paycheck. I'm not going to let the city just like, I don't know how you guys felt, Declan, if you were still there, but Andrew, I'm sure you felt it. Like, it just felt like the city was like taken, and like the city didn't have an identity. And it was like, who are we? Like, where do you stand on this? Like, okay, sure, the government shouldn't have, or the police precinct shouldn't have burned down. But also there's a lot of controversy around how those riots even got started. And so I just felt really affected by it. And I thought, I'm living in Minneapolis. I'm going to do something that I really care about. So I quit my job on Friday. They accepted my 2 week. They didn't want my 2 weeks notice because I told them I wasn't coming back to the office. They're like, if you're not coming back to the office, you're done. I was like, great. And then I told Kamal on Tuesday, I was like, hey, I quit my job. So if you need help, like, I'm ready. And so since then, I've been working on the food truck. So I quit the job. I quit my full-time sales job to do hemp, and then I grabbed the food truck and worked with Kamal, who I have a relationship with. And so now I work at the brick and mortar, and I'm a manager there. And so I'm still grinding. Like, and it's because of how I felt. That was the tipping point where I was like, look, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'll work a food truck just to pay rent and, support my life. But yeah, hemp clothing is what I'm coming for in 2021.
Dude, I love that. There's so many parts of that story that are just like so relatable. And like, I just want to congratulate you on like being confident in yourself, not getting too freaked out, really putting that mirror to your face and saying like, who is Steve? What does Steve want? And being confident in it, man. I mean, so many people have these glimpses and feelings of wanting to quit. I have those same things in the industry that I'm in. I don't feel like I match. I don't do this. I don't do that. But what's great about your hero's journey thus far is it was from the heart, and it's genuine, and I could feel your emotion tied to it. And that energy source is unmatched. That is going to take you farther than anybody. And there's no bigger believer that after now hearing your story and like you taking hemp to the next level. Now I wanted to pivot to that just a little bit because I know a lot of people probably don't even know what the hell hemp is. They didn't even know you can make it into clothing. They don't even know what the potentials are.
Yeah.
It's already banned. I mean, it's not really widely accepted all over the place just yet. Could you kind of give us some? Yeah, you're taking off all your clothes. It looks like you're getting ready to talk.
I'm trying to get the ratings up on the YouTube stream. You know what I'm saying?
This is how you know a guy's ready to talk when I'm like, hey, what's happened? He's like, let me take off all of my layers. I need to get
No, not to be distracting, but this is an Eco Hemp basic t-shirt. It's 55% hemp, 45% cotton, certified organic on both sides. But the hemp plant is more like a bamboo plant. And so a CBD plant is more like a genetically modified cannabis bush. And so...
Wait, can we back up real quick?
Yeah.
So hemp, so like I'm hearing hemp, I'm hearing CBD, and then obviously like marijuana, weed, cannabis.
Yeah.
Can you kind of contextualize each one of those and like help me understand like where all this is coming from?
Yeah. Yes. Cousins. So hemp and marijuana, as we know it, are cousins. They're both cannabis sativa plants, and they're very different from each other. But CBD it's genetically modified. So what people, so like what's kind of crazy, like, so I'm class of 11, Tommy, Ireland Hall 07. And like what I tell people that are even younger than you, because that's one of the cool things about working in this restaurant is I get to work with like Gen Z to the max, like 03, like
the most pure Gen Z.
And I love that because I'll never anyway. So the cannabis that they have access to is different than the cannabis that I had access to, that my parents had access to, that whole story. But like CBD is low in THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient that gets you high. And the farmers, like the cultivators, figured out how to bring down the levels of THC because they understood through Charlotte's Web, the success stories out of Colorado with CBD, like for epilepsy and for cancer and things like that. So hemp is not grown for clothing in the US. So that's one way. That's one thing that I just have to say, because the audience would not be familiar with a hemp plant, because hemp for fiber is a different plant than CBD, than marijuana. Like, I have a video out on YouTube, and it's basically just like, you can't take CBD fiber and turn it into hemp clothing, though it does not compute. But there is an existing industry, and it would be great to bring it to the US, and that's what the goal of my supplier is. They would love to bring hemp manufacturing to the US, but hemp for fiber is so essentially, like, it's grown. I know I don't have 16 feet here to show you, but it's grown, and then it's peeled off the outer stalk. That like ribbon fiber is peeled off the stalk, and then that's naturally processed using a like mechanical process. So as an engineer, like these people, these farmers are like beating the crap out of just organic natural fibers and creating clothing in like this slow, grueling process. And what you end up getting is like an amazing fabric that's naturally antimicrobial, naturally antibacterial. The fibers themselves are like 18 inches long, where a cotton fiber is like a 1/2 inch to 2 inches long. So you're dealing with like a longer fiber that's like made or built to make this shirt. And so you end up getting like a fiber that can like stretch and that shapes to you. And there's amazing benefits. And that's just like wearing it, not even talking about like growing hemp and how it sucks carbon dioxide out of the air. And it cultivates the soil. There's 100 things I could tell you about hemp clothing. None of it exists here. And hemp clothing was banned in the US until 1991. So it was banned before you guys were born. And it was banned, like, I was 2 years old, and like became legal. So why did they do that? I mean, that's a podcast on its own on the conspiracy around cannabis. But that's a little bit of background on hemp fiber.
Wow. Okay. So that is phenomenal. So the hemp industry is very, very small, and it's just getting ready to start growing into something just incredible.
And that's why I'm just saying, fuck the margin. Let's just get people on board here so that so we can build a ship. Really, we're just trying to sell tickets.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, hemp can be put into like anything, right? Like you can replace plastic with hemp. You can like use hemp concrete. There's like so many uses for hemp. Like it's stupid how many uses there are.
It's more complex. So it's just it's like this, it's natural organic fiber, but it's super complex. And so it leads you to be able to do all these cool things.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. So here now we got hemp on the rise.
Yeah.
And you're ready to ignite it in 2021. Any big takeaways that you're drawing back from 2020 to then implement here this year?
Takeaways from 2020. Well, I mean, I want to stay positive, right? Like the negative aspects, the hemp industry is small. The hemp association in Minnesota is not large. It wasn't super well funded. It was just starting to get off the ground. Like they had a killer event in 2019, and then they had big plans in 2020. And so what I'm realizing, I'm on Clubhouse, and what I'm realizing now, I'm trying to like speak to people in the cannabis industry on Clubhouse, is like I've got to like go super big, because like my plan to be local and just to sell to like local CBD brands and get their like logos printed on hemp clothing and I'll do all that stuff locally. The market wasn't big enough, Andrew. And so I was like stuck for a minute, because if I just try to sell to like you guys and my Facebook friends, like it's a onesie, twosie side hustle kind of a thing. But if I want to sell, well, if I want to make this a real company, which I do, I got to get a MOQ of like 150 units. Like I got to sell 1,000 units in a month. And yeah, if I invested a lot into a social strategy, it could work. But like also I'd love to be able to just like have more of an impact and get brands involved. And so what I'm pivoting to now is like setting the business plan towards marketing to brands and like trying to shoot that rocket, because it would have been easier to do it locally and to go to events and host events and do cool stuff in the Minnesota scene. But until we have like a normalcy, I've got to like kind of like shoot for the national scene.
Yeah, I think what's really unique about your scenario, just in general with the legalization and the normalcy of hemp and cannabis, is you have a two-pronged attack that are totally unrelated but will help each other out in the long haul. Like your business in Minnesota is not to sell hemp clothing, it's to normalize hemp and educate people about it and kind of come up with creative marketing ways to like show that this is like a big fucking deal. So like you're going to see a ton of value going and speaking at St. Thomas business clubs and going and speaking at the U of M and going to all these different places where like you can have backings from professors of like hemp science and stuff. Like there's going to be a lot of like, think about it as like you're trying to tell the world about climate change to a bunch of people who don't even know what the hell climate change is. Like, you're like, it's coming. This is a big thing. Like, please, like, and just investing yourself in that side of the education is only going to help you on the other side of things, which is you're trying to grow your business and sell hemp clothing to brands and different people willing to buy it. And if you think about it, the more educated that consumer is, the better they're going to be able to or be informed about whether they want to buy your hemp product or not.
And I think that's where I like kind of felt lost at times in 2020, was because like my impact is very much like in person. Like I do my best work talking to people, and I love going to events and things like that. And that's my never before told story that I referenced on Twitter. Do you guys know that I've been to your house?
Oh, were you over for a visionary manufacturing?
I popped in real quick. There was hardly anyone there, and I didn't know anybody. I knew Shane Huss, Mindful Release.
Yes.
And I met Andrew. He was super nice at the party.
God, sweet. That was nice. Perfect. That was
Yeah.
because that event got a little out of hand. We have there were some hazy things that happened at the end of that night, but
I was there on the early part of the bell curve there.
perfect.
You're on the come up, dude. That was like by far and large the craziest thing Backpocket's ever done.
Really?
So-
I'd never heard anything about it after I left.
Yeah, no, it was just like, I mean,
It was supposed to be an art show with Blake Anderson and Shane Huss was the artist, and then it kind of slowly, like, it started off that they had all their clothing out for everyone to kind of see, and Shane was doing some art in one of the side rooms, and then it slowly evolved into like there was then a DJ that came out, and then it became a house party. And originally the space was supposed to be used because we had just like a cool aesthetic in our house. And then it evolved into more of a banger. So then at one point, Deck and I were kind of like, all right, we appreciate all the love, but it's time to close this one. And there were some other things that happened that we don't need to get into, but it got wild.
It was absolutely bananas, but it was nice having you at the house. Did you like the space? Did you see the gold?
Yeah. Great house. I mean, and I love how you guys, and again, so I listen to a lot of interviews. Like I absolutely eat up interviews, like music interviews, podcast interviews, comedy interviews, all that shit. And one thing that I heard recently is like when you want to give somebody props, like if like an artist like wants to give props to like a bigger artist, don't show up and hand them flowers. Throw the flowers on the table and leave. That was the like to give people roses or whatever. But I want to say one thing that contributes to how I feel about you guys is like I listen to you guys, but then also like when I saw the house, I'm like, okay, great. These guys just transitioned perfectly from college. They kept the vibe, they kept the dude vibe, right? But then they upgraded the house and they found a place in like Lowry Hill, right? Essentially, is kind of where you guys live, and so it's like that. Even back then when I showed up to the house, because I didn't show up for you guys, I showed up, because Shane told me about it. But like, I kept that in the back of my head. So I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are on the right track. They've got a big house. Like they can podcast from there. Like, and then you guys built the studio in there. That's a funny story.
Oh, it's awesome, man. We're slowly chipping away together. That's the coolest part, like we realize that this town that we're in, Minneapolis, is connected. At the end of the day, we've run into each other in multiple occasions, maybe at a Lincoln drink, maybe you've even walked into our doors. It's how funny it is. It's really cool how everyone wants to help each other here in Minneapolis. And now we're branching off into Phoenix, and I think Decky's going to continue to bring that vibe there.
I'm banned from Scottsdale.
All right.
No way? Like Old Town or what?
I had 2 bachelor parties in like the span of 2 months, and I just told my girlfriend like I won't go back. I'm sorry, I'm banned.
It's a lot, dude. It is a lot of partying. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. The phone just didn't make it back. Just too many drops in the pool that weekend.
That's too funny, man. Well, I want to ask.
Yeah,
go ahead. One final question. We've been going at it here for 2 hours, and to leave this listeners on a note, and I think you're the perfect guest to ask this question to. This is a new thing that we're doing this year, is these call-ins. This is the first time we're doing it. We've talked through it a little bit as we're doing this right now, and Deck and I are very energized more than ever because it's so high energy. We get these guests on for 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how the interaction's going. What do you want to see from us this year in 2021? Because sometimes Deck and I can only see so far, and it'd be really cool. Maybe you don't even need to say it right now, but this could be something you tell us off air. If you have something right now, I'd love to hear it. But what do you want to see from Backpocket in 2021?
Inspiration. I just want you guys to keep staying inspired. Like keep taking, the little bits that you grab, whether it's, Dave Portnoy's in the news right now. So whether it's the like aiming for the bar stool, but like putting your own spin on it, or we're all Rogan fans. Like whatever it is that like inspires you. I think you guys have a good straw, and so just like keep sipping, sipping on what's inspiring you, because you're doing the right things.
Perfect.
No,
man.
That's good to hear, man. Like, honestly, like, the wheel ain't broke and we're not trying to reinvent it. And it feels good coming from a dedicated listener as yourself to simply say, keep going and keep doing what's inspiring to you. And I think that bit of inspiration, going back to your Tetris analogy, is like, dude, we're going to keep putting those blocks in. And when we're just going to try and get it in there as perfectly as we can. We know we're going to be dealt a wrong block every once in a while, but like, a lot of that is the creative process, and a lot of the fuel behind it is the inspiration. And honestly, the inspiration comes from these types of conversations with yourself and all these different people that not a lot of people know or have no idea even exist. And you come on here and deliver a wholehearted, like, really heartfelt story. Like, those things like energize me big time, man. And I want to continue to tap into those types of things. I just want to say, like, thanks for really bringing that out of me today and bringing that onto the podcast, dude.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's great to hear. My girlfriend's dad's owns an RV, so I can kind of picture like where you're at with things, and like, you know, Andrew, you're the steady rock, you know, and you're letting Declan fly a little bit. So I mean, you guys are good.
Awesome, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming on and sharing. You've been a phenomenal finale to cap off all of the call-ins, and it was a pleasure just getting to know you, man. I hope we can reconvene in the studio.
Yeah, this has been good. I mean, I just like, part of me like chirping and being with you or being at you guys is just because like it's like Twitter is like where we live. Like, I mean, or like whatever, Zoom is where we live. Like it's and like as an extrovert and like someone who, you know, just keeps my ear on the pulse of like where things are at, whether it's locally, nationally, or like, you know, how Minnesota sports are going to blow it again. Like, I just have to be a part of the conversation. So like, you know, I love seeing you guys on YouTube. I love listening to you guys on the Apple Podcasts, and like, you know, it's cool. And, you know, shout out to Chris Lindahl.
Oh, you're awesome, Steve.
You're the man, Steve.
That's too good. That's how he leaves it. Oh, man. What a night, Decky.
Oh, wow. That was super fucking fun. We're definitely going to do that again to some sort of capacity. Any, like, takeaways on your end that you just loved from those 8 people? Was it 8? Yeah.
I think we hit 7. We were supposed to hit 8.
Seven,
We hit 7 this go around. What I loved this time around, and this is obviously something that's got to evolve into something different, but the focus on this one was we're so fresh off of a year that, you know, a lot of people had a lot of feelings towards, good and bad. We were able to draw on a lot of heartfelt moments and then spin it and push it in an upward trajectory, like Steve said, inspire and give people some type of light at the end of the tunnel potentially for 2021. What does that look like going forward with these call-ins? I'm not sure, but that theme of bringing on the people around us, like that, the thing that I love the most about what we do is we're not trying to bring on consistently the Chad Greenway, Chris Lindahl, Paul Allen, cream of the crop, creme de la creme type guests. We are bringing on 7 people that are experiencing exactly what we are experiencing in different capacities and totally different walks of life. But it's so real and authentic and transparent that it resonates far more with our listeners, and it absolutely resonates with me. So trying to continue that path. I don't know what the question would be going forward, but, you know, staying true to that.
Yes, absolutely. I think you nailed it. Like we talked about earlier, you know, we reached 10 million people this year, but it had to do with probably our core 500 people who come back to see us every single day. And I think we pulled from 7 of those 500, and you could see the vibe of it. Like there's this pulse that was emulating that was so specific and unique. And to your point, that's Backpocket, man. Like, that to me, that it's really not about the famous people calling in and us boasting about how cool it was to have X, Y, and Z on. it's the emotions and the stories and the things that don't even need a name to it. It's those types of things that have, I mean, made us feel very whole and very inspired. And I think the best part about it is, like, it's not necessarily answering the question of what's the next topic we dive into. It's going to come to us. There's going to be another piece of inspiration that we're going to slurp from the straw. And I think that Steve said it perfectly, because that's what it's going to be. You know, we're going to find something that we're going to want to do, just like we did today. You say you want to do Collins. I say, okay, let's do this thing that we've been building for the last couple weeks and see where it goes. I'm just stoked about it. Who knows where it goes, but I really dig the energy.
Me too, man. I hope the listeners are digging the energy right now. You know, we never talk about our podcast in this way, but I'm gonna throw it out there because I've starting to listen to more podcasts. Hey, why don't you throw us some 5-star reviews if we've earned it on Apple Podcast? We've been stuck around this number, like 170 reviews for a while, and I would love to get above 200.
Let's get to 200.
Let's get to 200. I think there's a lot of validity in 200.
Absolutely. And then shoot us a follow on Spotify if you so choose. Turn on the notifications to get notified when we drop an episode. We're always coming at you 1 episode a week at least. But yeah, subscribe to us on Spotify, YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. However you want to do it, we'd love to have you part of it, man, honestly.
And if you want to be a part of these call-ins, the best way to communicate with us is follow us on Instagram at the Backpocket Podcast and slide in the DMs. We are active there. All 7 of these people that were on tonight, we communicated through Instagram direct message, or shoot us an email at thebackpocketpodcast@gmail.com if you're, into that the email game, I guess.
If you like emails, we check those every day too. We're accessible in a lot of different spaces. One thing I'll also just add is if you're interested in any of the different stories specifically of those people that came on today, I'm going to have Lauren tag each one of their Instagram profiles in the show notes of this very podcast. So if you're interested in getting to know any of those people, if you were inspired by anything and wanted to just shoot them a DM and say, thanks for the bit of information for my back pocket, definitely do that. All that information for you will be in the show notes.
And hey, we love you guys. We appreciate you joining this journey to kick off 2021. And we wish you the best.
Absolutely. That is a wrap. Love you guys. Take care.
Take care.